think Jordan Grace in WWE, we kind of already felt like this was going to be an
she's a
eventual
megastar.
thing anyway. Based off of the fact that she was in the Royal Rumble this year and she was in it for quite a while, and now we're having this partnership a few months later. It just feels it's an inevitable situation at some point. I think with Ethan Page, what made that interesting was nobody expected that. He's a most recent AEW jump shipper.
And recent.
Yes, very recent. And that is significant, I think, in itself, right? Because a lot of people are not. A lot of people want to talk about and to focus on the people who are from WWE jumping over to AEW, but it feels very similar to me because obviously WWE is up here and AEW is not there. It feels very similar to how things were handled when TNA was at its hottest and people who were released or left WWE and they go to TNA. Like, for the most part, it's not that big of a deal because it feels like, yeah, that's going to happen. Like, if they're released from WWE, they're going to go to this other promotion.
Exactly.
No one's really talking about how many people are actually leaving AEW and are trying to go to or do end up in WWE. Like, I think that is a talking point that should probably be discussed more, just because people want to take as many opportunities as they can to take jabs at WWE and whatever. And like, it sucks and people want to go to AEW. But then there's people who have never been in WWE, or maybe, saw the most star power in their career in AEW and didn't want to resign, didn't want to stay with the company, and
Yeah.
went to the big evil monster that is WWE. To me, that's an interesting thing because we're trying to paint out WWE to be like, the bad one where it's like the grass isn't always greener. They're testing it. You know what I mean? Like, Ethan Page is a big deal, even if people are going to say it's not CM Punk, it's not Jade Cargill, but it's like he's still a name that people knew even before AEW. So that's a big deal, in my opinion.
It's a big deal in, what you said, but also look at the people that WWE are signing from releases compared to AEW. AEW is going for the star power. Look at all the new stars: Okada, Ospreay, and Mercedes.
Right.
All three are champions right now and are in big money feuds. Will Ospreay is actually he's a champion fighting for another championship at which one is it? Which one is he fighting? Forbidden Door. Thank you.
Yeah.
At Forbidden Door. To me, what WWE does when they're signings is take someone who is like an all ego, a Ricky Starks, a Jade Cargill, who are going to come in and they're going to be like, oh yeah, they did a little bit. They were like advertised to be this big star, but like kind of just mid because look at what else is on the roster.
They're kind of like a diamond in the rough. Like, they come to
that's
WWE
what I'm
and like,
going.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like, that's how I'm
Yeah.
envisioning what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. It's like a diamond in the rough because the one thing that WWE does so well that not even TNA ever did it really, but they came pretty damn close to it, is they know how to make stars outside of the ring. They know how to make a superstar larger than life figure that people are just going to know because they are that person. Like how Robert Downey Jr., people refer to him as like Iron Man or whatnot. Like, you're just synonymous with that. They know how to do that better than any other company. And that is where they find their money. So to me, like, that's where they are so good. And the fact that they have Julia, that's an unwritten, an underrated, but great signing that I think will pay off more in the long run with her going to NXT.
Yep.
It's people like that really show WWE. It's just miles and miles.
I think it's I know that we already say it's like the Triple H effect, but to me this feels like a Triple H effect, a Shawn Michaels effect about the direction that they're going in with like who they're signing, because Tony is doing more of what I would say the Vince McMahon decision making would be, where he wants to bring in the biggest free agent stars that he can, just because they're huge names, they're already well known, everybody wants to see them. So like he wants to bring all of them in and doesn't necessarily have a big plan for them, but like he's just going to be like, okay, banking on the fact that people know who they are already. And so I don't really have to do much. I can sign Will Ospreay, throw him out on Raw, and people are going to be happy because it's Will Ospreay. But Triple H and Shawn Michaels, I feel like they're being a little bit more selective with who they're bringing in, but they all make sense. So it's like, and they're all younger, they're all like in their prime or like close to it. And so as I said, like in what you were describing in more words, was they're basically just getting these diamonds in the rough and just like chipping at them and like shining them up and then putting them out there. And it's like that's the best way to go about it, because you're developing stars. They might not end up being, you know, a Seth Rollins, but they could be a star in their own right. And like you're
Yeah.
doing it in the way that keeps them around for a longer time and also allows the audience to grow with them. So I think that it's interesting. I'm really intrigued to see like where this goes, because they are in NXT. So I mean, I have no concerns about it just based off of what we've seen from Shawn Michaels since he took over NXT, what he's going to do with them, and if it's going to be good or not. Yes, it's going to be good, especially, you know, with Ethan Page, and even if we only get a few matches or appearances from Jordan Grace, we know that it's just like laying the foundation for her to be
All we
there
need.
eventually. And so I think it's just very exciting right now.